Are you a social media manager who has tried every single piece of advice out there in order to get their revenue up without burning out? But with only 24 hours in the day, you're struggling to double or even triple your income as a social media manager. Well, in today's video, I'm sharing 3 secrets that high-level social media managers implement in order to make more money in 2024. Hey, my name is Milou and I own a multi-six-figure social media agency, and I now help social media managers do the same. Now, let's dive in. Now, the first thing in order to make more money as a social media manager in 2024 is to elevate your client experience. Your client experience is an extremely big deal if you want to start charging the big bucks and what all the high-level social media managers implement. Now, when I talk about client experience, what I mean is experience your client or customer has with you as a brand, as a business, every single step of the way, right? Before they start working with you, but also once they start working with you, what does the step-by-step look like and is it clearly defined? So high-level social media managers have all of this in place to where the client doesn't have to guess what is going on, right? From the moment they have a discovery call with you, they need to know, hey, what's next? If we want to sign with you, what's next? If we're not ready yet, what's next? What does the onboarding process look like? How long does it take before we go live? Your client needs to have all these answers before they even sign, right? And start working with you. Now, what differentiates a high-level client experience from a low-level client experience is the price tag. So if you see in the social media industry the great range in pricing among social media managers, a big part of this is client experience. What does the back end look like? How does someone run their business? Is it run by a team? Is it a one-man show? This all affects the price tag that you can put on your social media services. So the better your client experience is, the more you can charge. Now, just to give you an example and an insight on what that looks like in my agency is that the moment we have a discovery call, I lay out exactly what the timeline would look like if the client went ahead and said, yes, we're ready. We only onboard clients on the 1st of each month. So clients will know that from the start that they are on a discovery call with me. So if we have already passed the 1st, they will have to wait till next month if we have space, right? And if not, that would be when we start onboarding them. We provide them with an onboarding timeline where in week 1, we have an onboarding call. Week 2, we do the strategy for them. Week 3 and 4, we're working on all of their content. And after week 4, that's when they get their content, they get to submit revisions, etc. And so we don't go live until the 2nd month, but clients know exactly what to expect. So there's no confusion, no question on what's next or, what is happening. I haven't heard from them because they know exactly what we're working on and when to expect what from us, right? So this gives a sense of ease, and this is very much like compared to Uber Eats or DoorDash, right? You know exactly where your food is at from the start of preparing your food all the way till getting it delivered to your house and them even being on the way. There is that sense of relief where you can always check in and see where the experience is at. So this is a high-level client experience. Now, a few little things, detailed things that can make it a more elevated client experience, such as sending your client a welcome gift the moment they sign, right? This is just some high touch points in order, to really make it an even better experience. Some other things you can do is having a welcome packet, having a communication guideline. You can really go as far as you would like, but make sure you have that foundation in place so that you and your client really have the expectations and are on the same page, so they are at ease. They know what to expect and there are no questions there. Now, if you want to know exactly how we onboard clients in my agency, I do have a video on that on my onboarding workflow that you can check out right here. Now, the second secret to making more money as a social media manager in 2024 is to invest in you first. Now, what do I mean by that? It's so important to invest in your own skill set and your own development so that you can charge more, right? The better your skills are and the more skills in that sense you have, the more you can charge. So for myself, I am a social media strategist. That means I have the skills to conduct social media strategy, interpret data, also a content creator, right? And so there's a lot of areas me as one person already cover. Outside of that, I obviously do have a team in my agency, so we cover all areas and skill sets for clients. The number one thing I would recommend for you to invest is to learn strategy as a social media manager. Because when you know how to do strategy and do it really well, you can increase your rates, you can charge more money, and you become a more valuable asset to your client and their social media presence, right? For ongoing development, I am launching private membership in the next couple of months. So if you're interested in something like that, where you can get access to me, paid trainings on strategy and other things, then make sure you sign up for my wait list that I'm opening starting with this video. And I hope to see you there. Now, the third and final secret to making more money as a social media manager in 2024 is to delegate. Now, you notice how in my last point we talked about investing in yourself first, right? You need to develop yourself first as much as you can before you start hiring, outsourcing. Of course, you need the revenue, you need the clients first. But once you have that foundation in place and you start to build momentum and you notice that you're really at your max capacity, right, with your time, because again, there are 24 hours in a day, that is when you need to start delegating. Now, the first step I would recommend when you start delegating is to hire a VA, a virtual assistant. When you hire a virtual assistant, they can take on tasks that you wouldn't have to do yourself. Some examples would be they can respond to your emails, they can manage your email inbox. When you receive leads or inquiries, they can respond right away, right? To manage the things before someone becomes a client. Some social media tasks that they could do is they can schedule the content for clients for you. Once you're done creating, you don't have to spend time on that. So there's a lot that they can take off your plate so that you can get your time back, and that way you can grow your business, make more money, right? Because now you're freeing up time and you can bring in more business. Now, another thing I hear from a lot of social media managers is that they put their own social media on the back burner. Now, if that's the case for you and you are building momentum, right? You have a client roster, then I would highly recommend to delegate more so that you can start showing up on social media and bring in more clients, right? So that's what I do for myself as well. The more time I can free up, the more clients I can bring on and start lead generating for my agency. It's extremely important if you're trying to grow and build your brand, right? And your social media business and agency, that you practice what you preach and that you show up the way you expect a client to show up, right? Because that's our job, that's what we do. We consistently want to put ourselves out there on social media. So leading by example there and starting to delegate when you realize, hey, I'm really at my full capacity, I'm out of time. That's when it's time to grow and expand so you can make more money. Now, that wraps up the 3 secrets that high-level social media managers implement in order to make more money in 2024. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment below so that I know and I can create more free content just for you. If not, make sure you subscribe because I am launching next week's video. If you're new around here, I post weekly videos on free social media training for social media managers. See you next week.